Welcome to today's Business Spotlight. Today, our guest is William Nolan from Adaptive, ADDAPTIV, based in Cork. William, good morning.
Tom, how are you keeping?
Fantastic. It's been a while since we last spoke. So tell the audience here, what do you guys do and how long have you been doing it?
Yeah, so we're just over the 3 year mark now. We're a design and manufacturing company, solely focused on additive manufacturing, or 3D printing as it's more commonly known. So what we're doing with this technology is first of all, we're solving supply chain issues. We're trying to localize and digitize supply chains for businesses in medtech, pharma, industrial, automotive, food, any sector. If you've got a manufacturing plant, we can transform how you're sourcing your products, the likes of spares, fixtures, tooling, new engineering concepts, or indeed new products that you want to launch to the market. So we do digital manufacturing with our digital parts warehouse, as well as new product development to help you launch products and manufacture them here in Cork with additive manufacturing.
Excellent. So you're doing it in the high-end industries like the automotive, the aerospace, and med, pharma, all that sort of stuff, which is a huge part of Ireland, and you're in the right part of the country for that anyway.
I'd say we are, yeah. We're looking at with who's on our doorstep. And again, like that was a very clear intention of mine when I set this up, was to look after the industrial side of things. So because there's a very clear line between printing either for lower end products or consumer products, and when you move into the industrial sectors, particularly highly regulated industries, there's a big difference when you use this technology in those industries. I mean, that's what we know. That's what we know. So we're good at.
And tell me, as a matter of interest, how big is 3D printing in Ireland?
Well, it's very much a new emerging market, but I mean the opportunity that we're looking at here, from our perspective, is the volume of imported plastic and metal components. I mean, in Ireland, import about between $4 to $5 billion of these articles every year.
Sorry, how much?
$4 to $5 billion of components. Yeah, so I mean,
billion.
For us, that's the market we're looking at with additive. So you see, with additive manufacturing, it's a very much a hybrid market. I mean, it's a very much a supportive technology for all these industries that are already established. So for us, we want to localize all these products rather than importing them, and try and obviously reduce companies' carbon footprint, try and reduce their lead times, simplify the supply chain complexities, and this technology allows us to do that.
Absolutely. That's a huge market, 4 to 5 billion. My goodness me. So tell me, you're in business 3 years. I know it's a kind of an early question to ask you, but if you were to start again, would you do anything differently?
Yeah, $1 million question. I'd probably start with €500,000. No, I think looking back, I mean, obviously I went through an accelerator program here in Cork called Ignite, based out of UCC, and that was a huge help in learning the commercial side of this, because obviously I'm a manufacturing engineer by profession. I know the engineering side of it, but learning the whole commercial side of the business aspect was a huge piece as well. But I think I would probably looked for a co-founder earlier on in the process, because as I said, it's a long, lonely journey. Now, obviously, in my position, it was quite difficult because I mean there just are not people out there with the expertise in this technology. There are very few and far between. But I think particularly if I probably would have brought someone in earlier, with a lot more commercial experience to check me and make me more accountable, because it's very easy as an engineer to get stuck into the technical side of things and maybe lose sight of the other side of things that aren't as interesting. So that's been a huge learning to me, I think. Yeah.
Fantastic. And tell me, what about the work-life balance? How are you finding that?
Yeah, it's like the cliche of every startup founder or entrepreneur is that it doesn't exist. But yeah, it's something you can very easily get yourself to the point of burning yourself out. Because I mean, you get, like, anything you work on, anything I am very interested in, I've become very obsessed with. But obviously, the recent changes in my life is we've a little 8-month-old at home now, so that's given me a lot more discipline to have to be at home. A lot more.
Congratulations! Fantastic news.
Yeah, it is. That's a major change, and it's definitely a massive leveler. At this point in the process, I mean, when business is a little much more stable and predictable, and obviously still trying to grow, but it keeps you a lot more honest and a lot more exhausted.
That's for sure. So tell me, when you're looking to build your team now, Will, okay, what sort of qualities would be foremost in your mind that you would be looking for?
Number one above everything else, and it's like I don't know, is it a cliche line or not, but I'd hire someone for attitude rather than skills or experience. I mean, it's like the way I'm trying to build this is we have a blank sheet of paper in front of us with a new technology. I don't want to fall into the comfort trap of traditional engineering. I want to do things differently. So we want to hire people that reflect that as well, that we're working with a really exciting disruptive technology we're adapting markets to implement this technology with us, doing things a completely different way, a totally different mindset and a shift in design thinking, manufacturing, delivery. So that's the whole ethos that I want to try to build. So people who come in and get that and get what we're trying to do is huge for me. So like people with that attitude and that hunger to just change things, just even the simple thing of ask, why do we do something a certain way this whole time? That's the kind of people we look for.
I think that's a fantastic question to ask because I mean you're in a very disruptive industry. I mean, I'm always amazed personally by the amount of things that can now be printed by 3D printing. It's kind of mind-boggling, really, isn't it?
That's it. I think that's one of the first things we're battling with either different sectors or companies is that we're trying to break down the preconceived notions of what the technology can do. Because unless you'd have worked in med tech, aerospace, or automotive, you wouldn't have seen what this technology can do at a high level. Like not just plastics, but metal 3D printing. And the rate the technology is growing is phenomenal. So, I mean, in a lot of cases, the first time we work with a customer, they get blown away by what we can do, both from a design perspective and the quality of products that we can deliver. Either from the material capabilities or the simple finish of a part, because traditionally people see 3D printing as the quick and dirty prototype technology. They'd see desktop printers printing up plastic parts that they don't look great, they're not that strong. So we're totally transforming people's thinking on that.
And is it very specialized, or for our audience here today, would there be other use cases that you could deal with, maybe more SMEs rather than the very large businesses, of what you could possibly bring for them?
Absolutely, yeah. So, like obviously we're targeting all the multinationals across those sectors that I mentioned earlier, but obviously we work with a lot of SMEs and a lot of these supporting SMEs into these industries as well. So it's quite simple that if you have a manufacturing process or a product that you're trying to improve or develop, that's where this technology plugs in. And this is one thing we're very, very focused on is we want to find opportunities in these companies that make sense because we don't want people just simply printing parts for the sake of it, where they mightn't have design changes to the component or there's no actual commercial value of doing it. They just want to do it because there is an element of bandwagon jumping going on with technology. So
Yeah.
what we do is we come in and we really zero in on where you're actually going to get value out of this, the real benefits of either from
Yeah.
design stage, simplifying sub-assemblies with our design process. Obviously, DFAM is a very different design thinking. Obviously, lightweighting components, increasing strength, and obviously then the sustainability piece of using less material. Our process is near net zero of carbon footprint, and obviously the simplification and the fact that we're a local supplier to all of our companies here in Ireland.
And presumably networking would be a major kind of part of your business, your marketing, getting your word out there. What sort of business typically would you like to connect with, even if they're not going to do business directly with you, but from their network point of view, what sort of industries, what sort of sectors of people would you like to speak with?
Yeah, I think like I mentioned, obviously we're still trying to develop more across obviously med tech, pharma, automotive in particular, is a big area where there's a lot of gains to be had in this technology. And the food sector, which was one that surprised me, there was something that we entered with companies there who are quite willing and open. But obviously all the SMEs here in Ireland, everything from construction, consumer products, electrical components, industrial companies, or even or product startups, things that are from university spin-outs where they have a product development need. So we have a service there with our new product development service where we can simplify and shorten the time to market for a product. So we've worked with a lot of companies who either come from university spin-outs. Some of them have been med tech companies, some have been consumer products, electronics products, where typically they'd need to go find a partner to develop this product. And then typically, historically, they would go to China then for a manufacturing partner. Our goal here is to do all of that here. We want to cut out all these complex, expensive, very harmful to the environment supply chain processes. We simply develop the product here in Ireland. We do it in a short time frame, and you're ready to launch here as well.
So you're going to be part of the green revolution essentially as well. So other people who are in this sustainability area, reducing carbon footprint, you're going to be in this family, because most businesses, if I'm correct, are going to get penalized if their carbon footprint is too high. So you're going to be part of that solution, I take it as well.
Absolutely, and it's one of the areas where additive manufacturing as a technology is enabling real transformation with sustainability. So we're talking tangible results very quickly. I mean, it's quite simple that you can design a product in a completely different way to something that's going to be CNC machined, injection molded, turned on the lathe or a mill. You're using far less material. You don't produce scrap material off cutting. You're not cutting from a billet stock. So you're physically using less material to build your product. You're designing a component that can be built in such an advanced way that you don't need as much material in a design concept that you've come up with. And obviously, then your single raw material going into your machine, they're very efficient in terms of their output. And then obviously our other process around digitizing spares and inventory for these larger companies with stocks of spares, fixtures, tooling, consumable components, who would typically order them in large quantities and have a very large stock room physically on site, long lead times, high bulk quantities to get the cost down. We transform this into our digital parts warehouse, where we develop a digital supply chain model for these companies. What quite simply means is we digitize their components that they already have. We can improve them, take cost out, take weight out, and reduce their carbon footprint in that perspective. And then from there, then we're shipping them in a just-in-time business model. So we now have a physical product that was held in hundreds or thousands on site, transformed into a digital model that we supply on demand exactly when they need.
Fantastic. So tell me the best way for people to get in touch with you or to find out more about you.
Yeah, sure. So head to our website, www.adaptive.com. That's ADDAPTIV.com. The jacket here as well. And also, and we're very active obviously on our LinkedIn page. We put up some kind of engineering content on our Instagram page as all at Adaptive. And obviously me directly on LinkedIn, William Nolan. So you can find us there. And again, if once people are willing or unwilling, I'll talk to you if anyone about this technology, as you well know, Tom.
Absolutely. Well, it's been a pleasure talking to you again. Thank you so much, and congratulations on your first addition to your family. That's great news. Fantastic since we last spoke. So I wish you the very best, and we look forward to talking to you again soon.
Fantastic. Thanks very much, Tom.
Cheers.